Madam Speaker. The background to this question is this letter, which is dated the 2nd of October 2014, directed from the Honourable Minister to the Minister for Health, that directs him or advises him to cease all TOD spray on all Fiji Airways flights, which to my mind could be the result, of an influx of this Zika virus and possibly malaria. And the question, Madam Speaker, is, can the Minister provide the reasons why Fiji Airways was provided a ministerial waiver to the top of this hand by this letter, insecticidal spraying on inbound flights from malaria-prone zones, risking the importation of the malaria vector, whilst all other commercial flights complied with the Fiji quarantine laws?
Thank you. I give the floor to the Honourable Attorney-General.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Again, referring to the letter, what the Honourable Member conveniently forgets to mention are other parts of the letter. In other parts of the letter, Madam Speaker, it points out that Fiji Airways, like some other airlines, carry out what they call residual disinsection. Residual disinsection, in fact, has the same effect as what you call a TOD, or top of descent spraying, you know, the spray cans that they walk through with. The residual disinsection takes place every 8 weeks. The World Health Organization regulation states that residual disinsection is as effective as TOD. In fact, TOD is now not practiced in many countries because TOD is seen as problematic for many passengers who have asthma, etc. They'll complain about the breathing in of the fumes, but the residual disinsection has exactly the same effect. And what the Honourable Member also forgets to mention is in the letter, if you see in the last few paragraphs, the Ministry of Health officials in the Western Division suddenly started this, even though the residual disinsection has been taking place, I think, since 1994 in Fiji Airways, suddenly started saying to only Fiji Airways, do a TOD. And then they also insisted, this is why he also forgets to mention, this letter I copied to FICAC. I copied this letter to FICAC, Madam Speaker, is because there was some funny business going on, in which the Ministry of Health officials at Nandi Airport said to Fiji Airways that, at least we are watching and doing actions about it, said to Fiji Airways, Madam Speaker, that you must fly us to the destinations. They even requested to be flown to Hong Kong, Australia, New Zealand. Fly us to those destinations, pay our airfares, pay our per diem, and we'll go and carry out an inspection. And this was only for Fiji Airways, not other airlines. Not other airlines that were coming from other destinations where there may be malaria. So, Madam Speaker, this is why this directive was given, and we in fact copied the letter to FICAC. So as far as the risk is concerned of this malaria insect coming into Fiji, there was no risk. Of course, the airline at its discretion, on top of the residual disinsection, can also carry out TOD if it feels like, for example, from Vanuatu or Solomon Islands, where we'll be commencing the flights very soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Supplementary question.
It is not the law. Residential disinfectant is not the law. Let me tell you what the law is. The law, Madam Speaker, is this. Regulation 21 of the quarantine regulation says that any aircraft which has left or called at any place in New Hebrides, Solomon Islands, etc., must be disinfected according to this. That is not the law, even if it's a WHO even convention. This is the law. And the question is, were you aware of this law? And if so, why did you choose to break it?
Please, just before.
Funny.
Sorry, Honourable Minister.
Funny. Coming from you.
Honourable Minister.
Madam Speaker.
Order, Honourable Minister.
Madam Speaker.
Order.
Madam Speaker.
Just before you respond to that question, may I remind the member that when you are addressing a member, you address the speaker and not directly at the member. Thank you. Honourable Attorney-General, I give the floor.
Of course, could pick point with the fact they're calling me a lawbreaker, but anyway, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the point is that the law says about disinsection.
The law says
Does-
you can't do it.
Does it say disinsection, Madam Speaker? Yes, it does. And disinsection can take forms, different forms, and there are two forms. One is the residual disinsection, and the other one is top of descent disinsection. It does not specifically say TOD.
It says here, TOD.
Madam Speaker, if you look at also Section 25, which overrides the regulations, Section 25 of the Quarantine Act of Fiji, Cap 112, provides for disinsection, Madam Speaker. So the reality is, Madam Speaker, is that the WHO, the reality is, Madam Speaker, the WHO regulations allows for residual disinsection, and that says also quite clearly that you can in fact have that residual disinsection to stop the spread of this malaria.
Thank you. The Honorable Joseph Andalak-Berata.
I have been reliably informed by some staff of the border security that the biggest threat to our security is the government. And this is one example. My question is to the Honorable Minister, are you contemplating changing the law to exclude Fiji from this exercise? Thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Attorney General.
Clarification, excluding Fiji from which exercise?
From this, because you already claim from spraying the aircraft. To formalize what you're doing.
Madam Speaker, the aircraft is being sprayed. The aircraft gets sprayed every 8 weeks, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, it gets sprayed every 8 weeks. And that is suffice. Madam Speaker, also, the TOD that was being required by the Ministry of Health officials weren't being required for other airlines to do a TOD. So why was the law, as they claim, being applied selectively by the Ministry of Health officials? That's the other question that needs to be. Madam Speaker, if I can answer the question.
Please
If I can
continue.
answer the question.
Please.
Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker,
Honorable members, you are making irrelevant interjections. Please allow the Honorable Minister to respond to the question.
Madam Speaker, there are many instances in previous governments where civil servants have been corrupt. There are banks in Fiji where a teller or somebody may steal money from an account. Does that mean that the CEO of that particular bank is held liable? As long as there are rules in place to ensure that there is the administrative will and the political will to refer those matters to the relevant authorities. That is what we have been doing.
Thank you.